What is up, YouTube? If you guys have figured it out, this is going to be a voiceover because my settings were all completely messed up. But this is the Peira Guild War debut. We did spend 120 pulls to get this badass bitch. And I will say that she is so far pretty good. I mean, she pairs very well with, Blood Moon Haze, DDR, ML Shoux. It really helps shut down some of the, the tankier comps involving like young Yenya and stuff like that. But overall, I think the balance patch also is really huge. Very excited for the FCC and Rylet, but we'll jump into our first attack. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Let's go. All right, so for our first attack, we're going to be hitting Harsetti, Fireflan, and Mort. So I'm going to go in with Hand Guy here on Sweet Miracle. And he's going to be on a bit of a damage build, but Sweet Miracle so that I can cleanse off the 2-turn Fear from the Mort, so that the passive from Hand Guy and then the Sweet Miracle combined would just insta-cleanse it. So if you ever need to look for a response into Mort, here you go. Yulha is going to be on a standard build on Holy Sacrifice, Speed HP, really nothing too special. Just don't mind the Unreforged Ring. And our last unit in... obviously Firefly, but their Firefly is going to be going into our Yulha. Our Firefly is going to be on a speed build. Typically, you do want to be on like a Destro build or on a Lifesteal build, on Bloodstone or something like that, but I don't want to go through the hassle of changing it, so we're going to go with that. And it should win, looking at the bottom team, we're going to be running, the black versus whites. We're going to settle down the racism right here. So Champ Trophy for the stun chance and for increased effectiveness for ML Peira here. And then I'm going to be going with my ML Shoux, who's going to be on Sweet Miracle, and Speed HP, nothing too special here. And obviously DDR is going to be applying more Injury, more Venom, more Pestilence, GIC for survivability. And so the whole idea here is ML Peira is going to enable my my Shoux, my DDR, so that I can just tempo super hard. And basically they're never going to be able to take a turn, and by the time they do, they're going to be injured so much that they're basically going to do 0 damage to me. And I do want to see if I can maybe catch a stun with my ML Peira S1 and see what we can do with Pestilence as well. So, without further ado, let's see if ML Peira is a hero or a 0. Let's go right ahead. All right, into our first attack. Looks like it is 21.1k Harsetti. It is going to be on Magic Bubble Maker, and we did see the Dreamlike Holiday on the flat as well. And so we are going to tank that S3. We actually get some pretty good tuning. We're going to be able to get an S1 off with Yulha here, so I'm going to go on the Mort here, just so that I can pull my flan and she's not unbuffable, right? We basically chunked it for half, which is huge. He does get a barrier here off that counter, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm just going to rip an S3 on flan onto the Mort so that I can go for the Death Break. And because the Mort is redirect provoked right now, I don't have to finish him with Hand Guy here, nor do I need to really, if I kill him, he just full heals, right? If he comes back with Holy Sack, so I don't want to have that happen. So I'm just going to go for an S3 just to cleanse off the defense break off my Yulha, so that when the Firefly here does move and the Mort hits and it drags the flan, I don't die right away, right? So I'm going to tank it like a beast since we did proc, and now we proc Murderous Intent. Yulha's going to proc her barrier, Firefly's going to rip an S3 into my Yulha, and we're basically Bing chilling. And the Mort did die, so we're just going to look to S1 the Mort. I don't see any reason to S2 since we already know how much damage our Firefly can do. So we go for the S1, boom, kill, and we're missing about like 25k HP, so a Soulburn S3 is for sure going to kill a 14k flan on a miss. And so we Soulburn just for, extra, I guess, sake of peace of mind. And we're just going to 3v1 into the Harsetti, and it'll be completely free from this point on. And yeah, just slowly tanking it. But I'm very excited to see the new change, especially because we're playing Yulha right now, and obviously Crow is the blue counterpart, or the water counterpart. So very curious to see what this balance patch has entailed. The next attack, we're going to be running our ML Peira here. So Champ Trophy, we're going to rip the S3 here for the tempo, for the evasion, for the buffs, and specifically Swift Boots. And now I'm going to S1 onto the Senya since I don't want to waste any damage onto the Bastion units. And I'm going to rip an S3 on Senya again, not to waste any damage, so I can chip off some HP here. And I'm going to rip an S3 here with DDR. Hopefully I sleep all, and then I can just make them skip their first rotation. But I am going to be able to press S2 on DDR here to combo with our Shoux. So my Shoux is going to be cycling really fucking fast. So this is we actually got the sleep on the belly, which is huge. Senya obviously is asleep. I'm gonna rip an S3 onto the S1 onto the Illness, so I can do a bit of chip damage. And Yenya is unfortunately going to wake up, and Ilanav unfortunately is going to target my Shoux, which is just kind of 1 out of 3, just the most unfortunate of the unfortunate. But let's see if we hit a stun. Holy shit, we actually hit a stun. Let's go. And we're going to rip an S3 now onto the Ilanav, because Ilanav really is the only problem here now if he's injuring down my Shoux. So I want to get her out of the game ASAP. And now DDR, I'm not going to waste any damage onto the Ilanav here since an S1 from Peira can kill. So I'm just going to go for an S1 onto the Bellion, try to prevent this defense and the pushback. S1 kills the Ilanav, even without the pop damage. And now Bellion's going to go. She's already like 16k HP, so she's really not going to do too much damage to me here. And I'm just going to S1 onto the Yenya. I don't want to risk any dual attacks that can trigger Bride Resolve. And we're just going to S1 onto the Shoux for chip. Yenya misses a rotation, and then DDR can S1 onto the Bellion, sleep, which is huge. And again, we're just gonna cycle again, press our buttons, because why not? The animation honestly is a little bit of a letdown, but she does look bad as fuck, so I mean there's that. So we're gonna S1 onto the Yenya, get the kill, and we're not gonna proc by resolve here. And I'm gonna get swift attack, instantly take another turn. GG. Beautiful showcase. Let's move on to our second round for today. Alright, so on to our next attack. We're going to be hitting Flan, Harsetti, and Ruel. So this time I'm going to be going with Yenya here, who's going to be on 3F, speed HP. Really nothing too special about this build. We'll be going with my BBK on speed Torrent and Immortality EE, with Hwayoung here on counter Sigurd and Pen so that I can extinct the Ruel. So basically Harsetti's going to S3 into us, proc my Bride Resolve, and then I'm just going to rip my BBK, my Bride Resolve, 3F damage, and then if Ruel tanks it, which is pretty possible, or at least there's Spirit Lord protection, Hwayoung finishes with my extinction, right? So even if I get the worst tuning possible, it's basically unlosable for the most part. Now on the bottom, I'm going to be running a really high tempo aggro comp. So Peira is going to be at 312 speed on Champ Trophy, again like the previous attack, but I am going to swap it over to Warhorn because I do want to give my Straze just a little bit more attack so I can get the kill if possible. Well, yeah. And then Straze is going to be on Benny Marutachi, speed crit, 256 speed, so this will cut up to 320 with 20% CR push from the Peira S3 S1. And I'll put the damage calculation on screen now to where you can actually see how much damage we'll be doing. And then our Rimuru is going to be on Azure Comet, so I get an additional 18 CR when I kill the Yenya, so that I can rip an S3 and kill the Gala. So Peira will S3 S1 into Straze S3 kill Yenya, into Rimuru kill the Gala, and then 3v1 into the Poly, and this should be pretty free. But this all lies on me actually outspeeding, so if I don't outspeed, we are fucking dead. But hopefully all will be fine, so we're just going to go ahead with this attack and just pray to speed RNG. Let's go right ahead. Alright, so it is going to be... There's no artifact proccing, 25k Harsetti. It's Dreamlike Holiday with Guardian as Crystal Ruel. And looking at the S3, looks like there is going to be injury. Now we got a free counter, which is nice. We also procced the Divine Vessel. Let's see if this actually kills the Ruel. It does not. Okay, so she did tank it. So 12.5k Flan, which means Ruel is definitely going to S3 herself, which is actually really good for us because... what that means is Ruel S3 herself, she won't be able to put up the damage limiter, and that way we can just kill Hwayoung if we just hold Hwayoung for one turn here. So we're going to have the BBK S3 available with 1 HP, and obviously we were unbuffable, so technically we don't have our second immortality, but I'll let the S3 fly into a Hwa S1, and then we're just going to rip the Yenya S3 and then let the Bride's Resolve 3F damage go Sky mode. And we're going to S1 on Flan, since we know Yenya is going to for sure be able to kill the Harsetti here with that much HP left. And then we're going to Raw Dog the S3 here. And this will push our BBK in front, especially while we're at 1 HP with her passive. So I'm going to be able to heal onto the Ruel here for free. Boom, boom. And the fact is, because she's invincible right now, I'm not doing any damage to her, so we know that she's not going to press her S2. So she'll just S1 here, which is perfect tuning, and then I can just S1 the BBK into a Soulburn S3 with Hwayoung onto our Ruel. And the game is pretty much dunzo babunzo. Very, very free comp, honestly. I don't think he was really well built, so I mean, there was really not much chance of him winning. Second round we're going to be looking here is Peira. We did get the first turn, thank God. Now we're going to S3 here. We're going to watch the combat readiness go up on the left-hand side for our Straze and our Rimuru. And now we're just going to S1 on Yenya here, so you just get some free chip. It's not Proof of Valor, great. Straze is going to rip that S3. get our swift attack and just kill this Yenya. And if it is Holy Sack, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, but it's not. Perfect. And now we cut in front with 18% CR from Azure Comet. Rimuru is going to rip the S3 to finish off the Gala. And like I said in the beginning, we're just going to 3v1 into the poly, and it should be pretty free. But as you can see, that the Swift boots really come clutch because the Straze and Rimuru are already like half of the CR bar. And that's just so much tempo for your team. So I'm going to rip the S2 because, you know, why not? It might do a little bit less damage, but I can't even remember the last time I played Straze, man. Like, it's been so long. So this is very nice. And we're just going to S1 with Rimuru, finish out the poly, and we are good to go. All right, very clean, good tempo one. We're going to try to run a Peira into Harseti. Let's go. All right, so for our third attack, it's going to be, I'm in a little bit of a rush. So we're hitting Defense, Politis, Morton, Young Yenya. So I'm going to go in with MO Luna here. So I am 316, and yes, I know it's a little bit whale, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I'm just lucky. Frida's going to be on Bird's Eye View, so I can generate more souls from my Ludwig here after we soul run Luna, and then Ludwig will be at 250 speed torrent. So basically, I'll have the equivalent of 80 souls, right? Luna plus Ludwig is 40, Frida in the front that's 60, and then Bird's Eye View is 80. And even if it's Holy Sacrifice on Mort, I can just kill him completely. And because I am sealing him, he doesn't have the built-in counter to proc that barrier, unless he's on counter set. But we're going to be ripping an S2 with Ludwig with attack buff from Frida onto the Mort, so it should be fine regardless. Bottom team is going to be Fireflan, Hwayoung, and Harseti. So I'm going to try to run a Emil Peira build that's kind of like on an Uberius, just to see how she functions as kind of like an attack chip, like an Emiki kind of almost, right? So she's also Pseudo Cleanser into Harseti, so maybe if you have two of them, maybe it's possible to build one for Harseti matchups, but honestly, that's a lot of Mola invested, so, you know, maybe not. But for me, I do only have one Emil Peira, so we are going to be trying to run the Uberius build, as you can see here. So I'm running double Torrent, double Pen, or Torrent, Pen, and then Immunity. Immunity because I have the 50% evasion, so I don't want to actually get tagged by like a Magic Bubble Maker or an Abyssal Crown or something like that, because the artifacts do bypass the evasion, right? Now, Yulha is just going to be on a standard build on Holy Sacrifice that we saw in the first attack, speed HP, nothing special there. And then Young Yenya is going to be on speed immunity, on Proof of Friendship, nothing special as well. So I'm going to be doing a ton of damage from the beginning, because obviously Young Yenya S2 is going to chip onto the Hua. My Uberius 2 from Peira is going to be doing, I'm projecting probably like 6-7k per hit. But we'll see. I'm really curious to see exactly how much damage we do. Hopefully she's a hero and not a zero. Alright, so I am actually 6% ahead, so I soul run S3. And this is just going to pop our Frida forward, and we're going to be able to get that attack buff up for our Ludwig, so we're just going to rip that S3. And watch the Bird's Eye View generate the souls. And yeah, this defense is honestly, it's very bad. It's very, very bad, but I digress. So we're going to soul burn S2 on Mort, just in case it is on the counter set. Perfect. I'm going to rip a soul burn S1, no counter. Perfect. Soul burn S1, kill the first life if it's Holy Sack. Okay, yeah, it's Holy Sack. Now we rip the S3 here, kill the Mort, kill the Poly, and maybe not kill Yenya might be pretty tanky, so we'll see. Yeah, that Yenya tank, like I only did like 15k, so we're just gonna have to wait for the Yenya to lap around. She is going to be able to get an S3 off, which is a little bit unfortunate, which means my next hit, she is going to proc her S2. Hopefully it doesn't kill Ludwig. I really hope not. But even if we lose Ludwig, I mean, it's not the end of the world, just simply because of the fact that we still have Luna and Frida 2v1. And there's no way that she's going to be able to kill, you know, Luna Frida, so it's all good. Let's see if Ludwig actually tanks it like a Shota. Perfect. All right, so Ludwig tanks it. We rip that S2, kill a Yenya. Perfect. Now, looking at the next comp for Emil Peira into Harseti, I'm very nervous about this one, but we do see the Sacred Scythe and Dreamlike Holiday from the Fire Flan. Harseti is 24.2k HP, and is there any artifact that procs? No. But we do proc our Young Yenya S2 immediately, so we're going to see how much damage this is going to do to the Hwayoung in the front. And yeah, about 9k, that's a lot of damage. So we're going to be able to rip this S3 to get tempo. Now, unfortunately, the Firefly is going to be targeting my Young Yenya and not my Yulha, it looks like. That kind of sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't think my Young Yenya would die, though, so we'll see. S1, Redirect, Provoke, beautiful. And now I do want to see how much chip damage I can do with the Peira, but I will rip the S3 just for the buffs and for the cycling for the rest of my team here. So S1, let's see the damage. 7k. Okay, my camera kind of covered it, but it's about 7k damage on a pop, so That's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Okay, so S3 goes. I didn't get Death Broken, thank God, because if I got Death Broken, I would be dead like a dog right now. Hua Ying's gonna rip that S3. Tanking it like a beast. S1, does this pull Peira? It does. Harseti's dead. I'm gonna go S1 onto Hua to see if she counters me so I can get some chip in with my... Oh wow, I actually did. Perfect. Okay, there we go. She takes 2k back. Firefly is gonna AoE. It's all good though. Okay, I'm one hit off on Yenya, so I'm gonna S1 onto the Hua Ying here and see how much chip it's gonna do. 7.2. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, unfortunately we got countered and we didn't... Oh, that's perfect. This is gonna proc a Yenya S2, so Hua Ying is for sure dead. And now we're just gonna have to just slowly whittle down the Firefly. Slowly but surely. S1, pull Peira. Nope, rip. Dual attack, pull Peira. Nope, rip. Okay, pull Peira. Question mark. Pull Peira. Beautiful. That like did like 6k on a miss, or like I guess like 5k-ish on a miss. That's pretty good. S1. Yeah, I mean the attack chip with Uber definitely is viable. I can see it. Seems pretty good with the cycling. So, and it's a nice cleanser. So yeah, we'll move on to some closing thoughts right now. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's Guild War debut for MO Peira. Now, I do want to just quickly talk about the build that I'm going to be primarily running. It's going to be the top speed build. And the reason why I think the top speed build is going to be the best is because when you're playing matchups, especially with FCC coming out, right? FCC is going to have a 12 speed imprint as I have a triple S. So if I have FCC on 1 as you see on screen now, you're then able to flex into either playing cleave because you're already up in imprint, or you can play standard where you already have a tank. You can play stuff like Shoux, you can play DDR, you can play Rylet, and then your 4 or 5, you can be really flexible in terms of what the enemy picks on their 3-4. So I think the balance patch changes are going to be huge for MO Peira, and I'm really, really excited for it because, you know, the meta is going to completely shift. Like FCC will be seen in every single game, and I think Rylet is going to be pretty good too. I think you probably want to have like a speed 250 Rylet now because, you know, Rylet's going to be able to get so much cycling off of Peira, and you're basically going to be running at, if you're running Shepherd of the Hollow, you'll also be at like 90% evasion, so you're basically never going to get hit, so you can invest all of the substats that you would have in bulk into damage instead. But I think MO Peira around like 260, 280 that I tried yesterday also was not too bad. I think like if you're playing kind of like turn 2, you need like a pseudo cleanser for like MO Luna or whatever matchup that you're thinking of. I think she has some pretty good promise as well. I think there were some players that played Bastion of Hope on Peira as well. That was not bad. If they're playing with like ER Illinab, ER Bellion, and just kind of like the Hayumi style draft where you're playing a lot of ER cheese like Japan server. But overall, I think MO Peira is a great unit. I give her like a solid like 8 out of 10, and I'm really excited for the balance patch to see how much stronger she gets. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like and comment below. Bye!